Welcome to Cheater Confessions. Let's get started with today's story. I used to think marriages didn't fall apart suddenly, that if you paid attention, you'd see it coming. Turns out, that's not always true. Some things break quietly, like a pipe behind a wall. By the time you hear the dripping, the damage is already done. My name's Alex. I'm 35. I work in IT. Nothing flashy. I fix systems, manage teams, solve problems. That's kind of how I approached life too, logically. Calm, steady, low drama. My wife, Cheryl, was in marketing. Sharp, ambitious, a little restless, but we balanced each other. 7 years married, 12 years together. We didn't fight much, at least not at first. It started last winter. Cheryl was in a slump. She hated her job, said she felt invisible at work. I came home one night and found her curled up on the couch with wine and takeout, eyes puffy, mascara streaked. She looked at me and said, "I don't even recognize myself anymore." I told her to quit, take a break, do something that made her feel good. "You used to love running," I reminded her. "Or maybe join a gym. Just something to shake it up." "You think I need to lose weight?" she asked, deadpan. "No," I said carefully. "I think you need to feel better. You've been down for a while." She stared at me for a second, then nodded. "Okay." A week later, we signed up at this trendy gym downtown. First couple weeks, we went together. It was actually kind of fun. We joke around on the treadmills, try out weird machines, laugh about how sore we were. She started smiling more, sleeping better. I thought, maybe this is what we needed, a new routine. But then her energy shifted. She got more focused, more intense, started staying after our sessions to do extra cardio or try classes I didn't have time for. That's when she met Brianna, this personal trainer who ran these high-intensity boot camps. Cheryl was hooked instantly. I didn't think much of it at first. I figured it was good for her. But something about the way she stopped waiting for me to finish my sets, or how she'd scroll through her phone between workouts, started to feel different. The distance crept in before I realized it was there. By spring, Cheryl was a regular at the gym. Not just a member, but part of the scene. The early morning crew, the smoothie bar regulars, the after-class hangouts. She was always talking about people I'd never met. Jenna said this, "Luke cracked me up today. Brianna wants me to try her evening class." It was like she'd joined a club I wasn't invited to. Our schedules drifted apart. She'd go in the mornings or stay late after work. I started going less. No point dragging myself there alone at 9 p.m. when she was already out. She was home later, more energized, buzzing about some fitness challenge or group hike. I was happy she felt better, but I couldn't help noticing the shift. One night over dinner, I said, "You're barely home lately." She shrugged, scrolling through her phone. "I'm just keeping busy. You said I needed something for myself, remember?" "Sure I did. But we don't even eat together anymore." "I'm not doing anything wrong, Alex," she said, eyes still on her screen. "I'm just trying to feel good in my own skin." I nodded. Didn't push, but it sat with me. That phrase, not doing anything wrong, it was too specific, too defensive. A few days later, I saw a post on Cheryl's Instagram. It was her and a few gym friends on a rooftop bar holding cocktails. She hadn't mentioned going out that night. She hadn't even told me she wasn't coming home for dinner. That night, I asked her about it. "Looked like a nice party." She paused, then smiled. "Oh yeah, Brianna's birthday. Totally forgot to mention it." Forgot or decided not to? Her eyes narrowed. "Are we really doing this? Interrogating me over Instagram posts?" "I just want to know what's going on with you." "Nothing is going on," she said, getting up from the table. "Stop making it something it's not." But it was something. I just didn't know what yet. It was around June when I realized we weren't talking anymore. We were just exchanging logistics. "Don't wait up. Grab dinner already. Can you take the dry cleaning?" Our conversations were calendars and errands. One Friday night, she came home around midnight. I was on the couch, half asleep, TV humming low. "Long night?" I asked, sitting up. She slipped off her heels. "We grabbed food after class. Lost track of time." "Who's we?" She sighed, heading to the bedroom. "Alex, I'm not cheating on you, if that's what you're fishing for." I hadn't said anything about cheating. I followed her down the hall. "Why would that even come up unless—" "Because you've been acting paranoid for weeks," she snapped, pulling off her earrings. "You keep watching me like I'm doing something wrong. I can't even exist without being questioned." "I just want to understand what's changed." "Maybe I'm changing," she said. Is that so terrible? That night, I slept on the couch. A few days later, my friend Thomas texted me, "Hey, saw Cheryl at West Loop Bar. She was with a guy. Didn't look super friendly. Thought you should know." I stared at the message for 5 minutes before replying. "You sure it was her?" "Yeah, no doubt. She was wearing that green dress from your anniversary pics." I didn't say anything to her that night. I just watched her move around the apartment like nothing was off. But something in me shifted. I stopped assuming the best. The next morning, I noticed her phone buzzing on the counter while she was in the shower. A text flashed across the screen from someone named Jason. "Last night was worth it." Worth what? I didn't open it. I just stood there, staring at her phone like it was a grenade. I put it down before I did something I'd regret. Later that night, I asked her straight up, "Cheryl, is there someone else?" She looked at me calmly. "Do you really want the answer to that?" "Yes." Her silence said more than any words could. She sat down across from me at the kitchen table, still in her gym leggings, hair pulled back, no makeup. She looked tired, or maybe just done pretending. "His name's Jason," she said quietly. "He goes to the gym. We started talking after a few classes." I didn't say anything, just waited. I didn't plan it. It wasn't like I went looking for it. It just happened. "That's what people say when they don't want to take responsibility," I replied. Her jaw tensed. "I'm not proud of it, Alex. I felt stuck. You were always so calm, so predictable. I needed something different, something that made me feel alive. And sneaking around with some guy from your gym did that for you?" She flinched. "Don't act like this is all on me. You checked out a long time ago." That part hit different. I leaned forward. "I checked out? Cheryl, I was the one trying to connect. I was the one asking where you were, what was going on. You pushed me out." She folded her arms. "Because you made me feel small, like everything I did was being judged." "You were lying to me." "I didn't know how to talk to you anymore," she said, voice cracking. "Every time I tried, you looked at me like I was breaking something sacred." "You were." She looked away for a second, then said something that stuck with me for a long time. "I changed, Alex. I worked hard. I feel confident for the first time in years. And now, being with you just feels like I'm settling." That one hit like a slap. Not because she said it, but because I think, on some level, she believed it. The room went quiet, just the sound of the fridge humming. "I think I need space," she finally said. I nodded. "You've already been taking it. Might as well make it official." 3 days later, she moved out. Took her yoga mats, her blenders, half the silverware. She left a note on the counter. Not a letter. A note. "I hope you understand someday. I didn't mean to hurt you." She didn't take her wedding ring. She left that in the bathroom drawer. I didn't tell anyone for a week. Not my parents, not my coworkers, not even Thomas. I just went to work, came home to a half-empty apartment, and sat with the words she left behind. "Being with you just feels like I'm settling." It played in my head on repeat. I didn't try to win her back. I didn't beg. What was there to say to someone who'd already decided you weren't enough? I started seeing her pop up on social media. Not directly, of course. We'd unfollowed each other, but friends posted photos. Cheryl at rooftop bars, Cheryl on weekend hikes, Cheryl in outfits she wouldn't have worn a year ago. Always smiling, always surrounded by people I didn't know. Jason was in a few of them. Always close to her, always smiling like he belonged. I didn't comment, didn't like, didn't text, just watched it all unfold from a distance I hadn't chosen. I didn't even know what I was supposed to feel anymore. Anger came in waves, so did regret. But the quiet moments hit hardest. The mornings when I still made 2 cups of coffee out of habit. The silence at dinner. The grocery runs where I'd reach for things she liked and put them back. One morning, I went back to the gym. Not the fancy one Cheryl loved, just a regular place near my office. No influencers, no smoothie bar, just iron and sweat. It helped. I started going 3 times a week, then 4. I wasn't trying to get revenge fit or whatever. I just needed something solid, something I could control. A week later, I met with a lawyer and filed for divorce. Work got better too. I started staying later, taking on more projects. My manager noticed. So did a new hire, Jessica, who asked one day if I wanted to grab coffee after a meeting. I said no. Not because I wasn't interested, but because I wasn't ready. I didn't want a distraction. I wanted peace. Then one night, Cheryl emailed me. Just a two-line message. "Hey, hope you're doing okay." I stared at it for a full minute. Then I closed the tab and went back to work. A few months later, the divorce was finalized. Papers signed, done. I thought that would be the end of it. Then she showed up on a Sunday. I'd just gotten back from a run, still sweaty, headphones around my neck. She was waiting outside my apartment, holding a to-go cup, wearing a denim jacket like it was any other day. "Hey," she said like it was nothing, like she hadn't walked out of my life 6 months ago. I didn't move. "Why are you here?" "I was nearby," she said. "Thought maybe we could talk." I waited. "I've been thinking about things," she added. "A lot. About us." I stepped aside. Let her in. She walked around slowly, eyes scanning the room like she was measuring how much of her had been erased. I hadn't changed much, just moved some furniture around, added plants, repainted the wall near the kitchen. But the place felt like mine now, not ours. "I like what you've done with it," she said, half smiling. I didn't answer. She sat down. "Jason and it didn't work out." I stayed standing. "I made a mistake, Alex. I see that now." "You made a lot of them." "I know," she said quickly. "I thought I needed excitement, change. But all I found was noise, empty conversations, shallow people, parties that meant nothing." I watched her closely. No anger, just quiet disbelief. "You were steady," she said. "Kind. Safe. I miss that. I miss you." "I'm not a backup plan," I said calmly. "That's not what this is. You left, lied, disrespected what we had. And now, because the thrill wore off, you think you can come back and pick up where we left off?" "I'm not asking for everything," she whispered. "Just, can we get coffee? Start over?" I paused, long enough for her to get hopeful. Then I shook my head. "I'm not that version of myself anymore." She looked down, blinking fast. "So that's it?" I opened the door. "Take care of yourself, Cheryl." She left without another word. 3 weeks later, Thomas told me Jason was dating someone new. Cheryl, apparently, wasn't taking it well. Word got around. She'd started skipping work, unfollowed most of our mutual friends, deleted all her gym posts. I didn't reach out. It had been close to a year since Cheryl left when her final message came. It was long, rambling, apologetic. She told me how sorry she was, how she should have fought harder for us, how Jason had just been a distraction, how none of it meant anything, not really, how I had been the only person who ever made her feel safe. At the end of it, she wrote, "I know I can't undo the past, but if there's any part of you that still remembers what we had, I'd give anything to talk, even just once." I read it twice. Then I replied, "I forgive you, Cheryl. Take care of yourself. Alex." That was it. That was all I had left to give. I'd spent months peeling her out of my life. The habits, the assumptions, the memories attached to songs, scents, Saturday routines. It wasn't easy, but I did it. Not for revenge, not out of pride, just for peace. Now, I was dating someone new, slowly. No declarations, no fireworks, just shared breakfasts, quiet laughs, steady ground. Her name's Hannah. She doesn't post her entire life online. She doesn't chase attention. She listens. And when I talk, I feel heard. The funny thing is, I used to think I needed closure, some big dramatic moment where Cheryl begged and I turned away triumphantly. But the real closure came in that small reply. Just forgiveness, nothing more. One Saturday, I was sitting on my balcony with Hannah, watching the sun dip behind the buildings. My phone buzzed. I glanced at it. Just a message from work. I put it down without thinking. A year ago, a message like that would have made me tense, bracing for fallout, wondering what version of Cheryl I was going to get. But now I didn't need anything from her. Because the truth is, sometimes love ends quietly, not with a fight, but with a choice to stop bleeding for someone who wouldn't stop cutting. And in that silence, I found myself again. Thank you for watching.